Hello, everybody,
Jamal.
and welcome to Voices of CML with our African CML community. Today, we are going all over the world with this event. We started in Asia Pacific early this morning, and we moved on to Central and Eastern Europe with West Asia. And now we're really thrilled to join our patient leaders from Africa. Today is a very special day for us. You know, it's our World CML Day, and normally we would probably meet face to face at events in our different countries, but because of the circumstances, that's not always possible this year. But we're going to be together and have a few moments together and talk about what's going on, how things this year has affected us, and maybe how the CML Advocates Network can also help you in your work. I'm really very honored also to have with us leading this call today Mrs. Bahija Gouimi from Morocco, the president of the Amal Association in Morocco, and also a representative of the region at the level of the steering committee of CML Advocates Network. Bahija, please, the floor is yours to allow you to introduce all your great colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you to our CEO of CML Advocate Network. Thanks, Lydia and Celia, for joining us. I'm very, very glad to see you all faces of Middle East and Africa region. Good afternoon, and I would like to welcome you and thank you for joining us today in our Middle East and Africa region. مرحبا بكم. Bienvenue. Welcome. Today, Tuesday, 22 September, is a big day, a special day for all CML patients. Many of us are patients or caregivers. And my name is Bahija Gouimi. Many of you called me Mama Africa, and it's make me very proud because you all are in my heart, and I try to do my best to represent well my region. I am running a CML patient group in Morocco called Amal. And of course, I am your representative to the steering committee of CML Advocate Network. Personally, I have been living with CML for more than 18 years. At that time, CML was a dangerous disease, no treatments, but fortunately today, we have 4 generations of treatment and we have almost a normal life. Today is the World CML Day, and every 20 September, the CML Advocate Network leads to the CML World Day, a global awareness campaign, including our region also, because we represent 23 organizations of the CML Advocate Network. Today, we celebrate the World CML Day. The chronic myeloid leukemia patients across the globe come together to raise awareness about the needs of CML patients. Today, we are celebrating the World CML Day under the motto, Today, Together, more than ever for a life without CML. I have with me leaders from Middle East and Africa region who will speak about different topics. And I will be moderate this session and ask our speaker to present their topic and themselves and to answer to the following question. Our first speaker is my friend Trevor Stein from South Africa. Trevor is the president of CML South Africa. And Trevor, you are a CML patient for more than 31 years. And my question, can you talk about your CML journey and how CML has changed your life? The floor is yours, Trevor, please.
Hello, Bahia. Hi, Dennis, and everybody else. Very, very good to be with you on this very special day as we celebrate World CML Day. Yes, my journey on the 28th of September this year, it would be 31 years that I have been diagnosed with CML. And when I was first diagnosed, I was told that at that point, the average lifespan for CML patients was 5 years. And so I was a younger man then, married to a young girl, and had a baby of less than a year old. It was devastating news when I was told that I have not more than 5 years to live. And so at that point, the only treatment was the hydroxyurea. And so um, I began to work out how do I best organize my life, um, having known now that it was going to be such a short life. It was very difficult because there was also a lot of stigma attached to the problem of CML. And it was a very difficult journey because you almost have to journey all by yourself. Lucky for me, I had the full support of my family, but it was difficult to tell other people because you didn't want people to feel overtly sorry for you, because you wanted them to treat you as a normal human being and not all the time feel sorry for you. But at the same time, if you had told them, it was difficult for them to remain friends with you. So it was very, very difficult. So over the many years, I just continued to live my life as normal as possible, and to a great degree of thanks to the medical fraternity and the pharmaceutical fraternity for having developed um, um, different technologies to help manage our disease. Today, we can clearly say to people the disease of CML is not a death sentence. It is, in fact, very much a disease that if you have access to all the care, then it is a disease that can be well managed. But we do know that there are still people who die of CML, and many of them die as a result of them not being able to get access to PCR testing and all the other things that go with it. So yes, it is a very difficult disease if you don't have access. This has been a very difficult year, this COVID-19 year, because many of our patients, they found themselves all of a sudden without a job. They found themselves with without the resources. The journey is alone. You cannot go into the hospitals. You cannot, when you go into hospital, you have to go alone. Your support system can't go with you. And so as an organization, we had to embrace our people and try and help as far as we can. But the most important thing for us is that we continue to say to our patients, keep the faith, keep being strong, and do the right thing. Make sure you take your medication on a daily basis. Do not skip it, and so on. So it's been very difficult for me. For instance, when I had young children, I tried to get some insurance cover for them, especially since I was never sure when I was going to die. And no insurance company wanted to cover me because they said you had a dreaded disease. They also did not want to, if they were prepared to cover you, they were going to load it substantially to the point where it was almost impossible. And so 31 years later, I say to those companies, here I am to tell the story. Where are you? So yeah, it's been a very difficult journey, often at times a very lonely journey. But as a person of faith, I also thank God that here I am today to tell the story, and I go out of my way to do whatever I can to help patients, not just in South Africa, but in Southern Africa and across the region. Wherever we can, we help, because we've been through it. We may be able to help others so that they don't have to make the same mistakes and the same challenges that we have. We can make their life easier. And that's my commitment to this CML journey. And I'm very grateful to the many people, especially the Max Foundation and others, who so wonderfully got alongside us. The CML Advocates Network, what a wonderful network of organizations who support each other and make this journey for all of us much easier. So thank you very much, and I suppose I have to say to all my patient colleagues on this network to say to you, Happy World CML Day.
Thank you very much. What's an inspiring story, and thank you, Trevor, for sharing with us your personal story. Very proud of you and very proud of your CML patient journey. Thank you, Trevor, again. And our next speaker is a passionate advocate, Elo Mapelo, the president of Henzo Kenya. As you all know, COVID-19 is a general challenge for each organization. How you manage, Mapelo, your advocacy work in this pandemic? The floor is yours, Mapelo.
Thank you, Mama Africa. Thank you so much. And I would like to begin by saying Happy CML Day. I think we don't have very many cancer groups that begin their greetings with Happy CML Day like ours. But it's because there's every reason for us to be happy and there's every reason for us to celebrate. Before I respond to your question, Mama Africa, allow me to first say that it is a great honor to be here. It is a great honor for CML Advocates Network to put together this meeting. Thank you so much, Denise Costello and your team. We are very grateful for this. We had our own version of celebration here in Kenya, and there is a lot of celebration. There is a lot of joy going around, and we did it like the good Kenyans we are. I will be sharing a little bit of what we did later on in video. Trevor has never been to Kenya, but he can tell you Kenyans know how to celebrate. and I believe it's true to many Africans. There can't be a complete celebration without a cake and a dance. We did that earlier today. I'll be sharing that later on. But just to look at what Mama Africa asked, COVID-19 has really brought a situation in this, actually in the whole world, that is not known to anybody. I mean, nobody was ready for this. Nobody had a playbook to read from on how to carry out advocacy work in such a situation. And in Kenya, which I believe is true to many countries, we saw a lot of resources being directed towards COVID-19. Every kind of resource, be it financial, be it a human resource, was all focused towards COVID-19. We had a whole national agenda shifting towards looking at what COVID-19 has brought along with, and it has not been easy in the last few months to it has not been easy to engage our partners, to engage our friends, to engage the people that we work with in advocacy, because everything was focusing on the COVID-19 situation. We had also restrictions, closures of businesses, closures of offices, closures, and of course restrictions to traveling, restrictions.
Hello?
Sorry about that.
We lose you.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but I'm back
Go
now. You can
ahead.
hear me now?
Go ahead.
Yes,
Go ahead. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Go
yes.
ahead.
All right. So we were faced with an unprecedented kind of challenge as far as COVID-19 is concerned. But as we were discussing in our meeting today, we were able to bring together all our partners that we work with in our various areas of advocacy.
Yes,
So,
Mapelo.
sorry.
Sorry.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You
afraid I'm
finished?
using the phone.
Yeah.
So
Please.
some calls are coming through. But just one last statement. I just want to say that we have been able to try and see how to put everybody back again together. We are looking like we are in the coming to the end of these extra focus towards COVID. I'm not saying in any way that we are coming to the end of COVID, but at least there is a little bit of focus now into what was currently in the forefront of government agendas. We have had that challenge with advocacy, but now we are able to get back to the work that we've been doing, getting back to talking to the ministries of health, getting back to talking to partners, and trying to put together everybody back to the conversation that we had of cancer and, of course, of CML. But those were 6-7 months of some sort of darkness, I could say. I don't know if it is a case in other countries in Africa and in other countries in the world, but I believe it is. It actually came to the shelf quite a number of our activities, including, of course, not being able to put together our annual May pilgrimage that we plan to do as CML advocates across the world. So, Mama Africa, thank you. If there's any other things that you'd like me to respond to, I'm at your disposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Mapelo. Thank you for sharing your thought with us. And it's true that's all challenges that we have faced in 2020 are mainly affected and linked to the pandemic, to COVID-19. Thank you for sharing with us your thoughts, Mapelo, and good luck for your advocacy work. Our next speaker is a parent, the father of a beautiful lady, Zaina. Zaina is a young girl, CML patient from Palestine, who attended with us, I think, CML Horizon 2017. Right, Jamal? Hello,
Yes,
Jamal.
yes.
Yes. She attended with us, and she is full of life and hope. And Jamal Horani is the president of CML Palestine. And my question to Jamal, as a parent, you faced every day, with your daughter, the procedure, administrative and medical procedure in Arab country is not easy. And can you please share with us and explain the challenges faced by the Arab CML patient in terms of access and monitoring in the region? The floor is
Thank you,
yours.
Bahija.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much, Bahija, and everybody. It's actually my pleasure to be attending this webinar. And I will start by building on Trevor's journey. Actually, he's an inspirer and he's a great guy, like everybody. But I can say that he's our sheikh, he's our president.
Yeah.
Yes, and he inspires us a lot all the time. The same as everybody, Bahija as a woman, and everybody. So to
Thank you.
talk about the ability, the access to treatment, it is not only access to treatment, it's access to drug, and it's access to the medical treatment, including the drugs and the laboratories and the doctors, and dealing with the community. As you know, we have 4 pillars. The first pillar is the patient and his family themselves, and we have the doctors, we have the government, and we have the society.
Hmm.
So in the Arab world, we have a lot of complications where the government is responsible for providing the drugs and the medication, control the doctors to the cancer patients, where the CML is treated as one of the cancer issues. So having a doctor who's knowledgeable, who has the experience, is an issue. And after the diagnostics and reaching to the right diagnosis, we have the ability to get the drug. The drug was very expensive, and the new drugs now are too expensive too. Uh, it was a blessing from God. We have the generics now that are in the market, where we are now able to convince our governments to provide the drugs on a permanent way. Our patients until today, like in Iraq, like in Lebanon, the same way in Palestine, we have a lot of complications getting the drug, which is provided by the government. We have some help sometimes from foundations like Max, but many patients in different Arab countries cannot get their bills on daily basis. Sometimes they skip, sometimes they have to skip because they don't have the drug that is enough for them. So this is one of the challenges in the Arab world, which is the access to the drugs, the access to treatment. The second thing is the challenges for the control. And the control, we need laboratories and we need to have the required accessories so that we can do the testing. This is also is making us sometimes late in reaching the TFR, because so as to reach the TFR, you need laboratories and you need the testing equipment that enables you to check for 4.5. And I think most of the Arab laboratories available in the Arab world are now at max of 3. And this is preventing many CML patients to get themselves ready to reach the TFR level.
Hello, Jamal.
So we
Jamal,
are
we lost
trying
you.
hard.
Jamal, we lost you. Can you repeat
Yeah.
the last sentence, please?
Okay, so what I'm saying is that because of the lack of the testing equipment that is
Mhm,
suitable for the treatment-free remission level, many Arab patients are not able to start the TFR with their
mhm,
doctors. So this is another challenge for the Arab patients in the Arab area. We're trying hard to push for that, and we're trying to convince our governments that this is for the benefit of everybody, for the patient to be without medicine, for the government to save some cost on providing the drugs and sparing that drug to the new entrants who are entering as CML patients, and for the family and everybody to be in a better life. So these are the challenges. Actually, we try to support each other. We try to help each other using our different experience in working together. Everyone has his own success story in his own society. And so we share it together as Arab CML leaders. We try to benefit, and it is of benefit actually. We try to help each other by sometimes speaking about the drugs that are used differently. We use different generics in different countries. So when there is a generic that is introduced in a country, we ask each other, and we can bring the information that this is a good generic, this is not good generic, and about the testing. So the journey is not easy to describe. Being a father is something else. I know that the patient has his own feelings, but also the parents and the caregivers have their own feelings. If sometimes, it's not sometimes, all the time, if we pray to God that I would be more happier if I am the patient and not her. But this is what happened actually. Um, for the CML Advocates Network, it gives us a great information, a great networking abilities. It gives us a great network so that we can communicate together, we can contact each other, we can ask each other, we can help each other, and we can support each other. I'd like to take this opportunity to say that I pray to God that the next CML day will be the next TFR day, where all the patients are in free remission, and even to be in a better, more, if we have a drug that cures this disease and not only control it. I wish everybody a happy CML day, every patient, every caregiver, and I hope that we enjoy it and we enjoy it more in the coming days with a better news. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Jamal, for your participation. And you are right. We need more work together. We need to be united to share best practice in the region and to improve, treatment access and the monitoring also. Thank you for sharing your story, and the best regard to Zaina and your family in Palestine. Our next topic is a topic, a very important topic, is about women. And I have with me a great woman. She is the CAB members, and she is also the president of MaxCare Nigeria, my dear Eunice Oreka. She will talk about CML and women in Africa. The floor is yours, my dear.
All right, thank you, Bahija, and thank you everyone for joining in. This is a big topic for me, and I guess it's a good topic because at least I can use myself as an example. Um, CML and women, generally in Africa, women's challenges are enormous. So we live in a society where it's more patriarchal because the men are the ones in charge. And so when a woman has a challenge, sometimes it's almost like it's easy to a woman is almost easy to dispose of. Now, when you have a CML, as it were here, and because there's limited information, it's not that the information is not available. It's just that people just choose, you just hear leukemia. So when you hear leukemia, that's like a death sentence. And so a woman is told that you have leukemia, and she probably has a marriage proposal, and the man hears that, and then the family members tell her, how do you want to marry a lady who has leukemia? She will die soon. So of course that marriage proposal is dead on arrival. And that's one of the main challenges women face. Women usually are the ones who are the child bearer in society. And so a woman generally knows that once she's married, she wants to have a child. You can imagine if a woman who is married and is trying to conceive now hears that she has CML. I'll use myself as an example. When I was diagnosed, it was devastating because at the time I knew leukemia meant something that could be terminal. And so doing research and finding out eventually that I could use a drug, and over time I would get better, it was simply amazing. And so it gave a lease to life. But not everybody knows that. Unfortunately, in some parts, because we have people coming from different parts, many people sometimes don't even know that there's a drug to take. So because of the way the symptoms of CML are, you lose weight, you're sick, you're sickly. So it's almost regarded as you are dying. And so sometimes before they even get treatment, sometimes it comes very late. And even when they get treatment, sometimes if you're single, many times you don't want to disclose. That's the truth. I have met patients who their family members, some of them don't even know they are sick because there's that stigma. Unfortunately, we still have that stigma in Africa. So you don't want to disclose because, like Trevor was saying, sometimes you don't want people to feel sorry for you. And then in some cases, if people are aware that you have a disease that they actually term it terminal, you could lose your job. And so people prefer non-disclosure, especially when you just not disclose. There's no point letting anybody know. I'm doing well, I'm taking my drugs, that's fine. It's one of the challenges we also face in the patient group. Many times, like I run the patient group and we run an online platform to be able to provide support for one another. Sometimes people just want to stay in the patient group and be silent. They don't want to disclose them. You really can't bother them. You just make sure that they get the right information because the information is power. Another thing we also face is fertility issues. So many people feel, if I have this disease, I don't have children. Now, we try as much as possible to ensure that we inform them, but people are the way they are. Sometimes when they want to get pregnant, they will not tell the doctors. They will just stop taking their drugs. They do get pregnant eventually, but they are now sick. So what we do every CML day, we are going to have like a forum later today, and then tomorrow, we always invite the doctor so that they can inform the patient. If you want to get pregnant, if you have issues, both male and female, please come to the doctors. Let them speak to you. Let them advise you. Like I said, I always use myself as an example. When I was diagnosed, I was just the mother of a 2-year-old son at the time. And of course, I wanted to have more children. But I didn't know what the chances for me were. But unfortunately for me, I had good doctors. And incidentally, where I was the GPAP center. And so I had the wealth of information. And it was new to them. But the doctors guided me. And I have a daughter today, and she's going to be 13 in November. And so this is my journey, 16 years. And so it's really about empowerment. And that's one of the things we really want to do, to empower. Because if we empower them, then many of the choices that women make, fortunately, that harm them, they won't do. Another thing we also face as women is, when you have a disease that people don't really know what to do, they give you all sorts of advice. So we call these old wives' tales. They tell you, if you mix this with this and take this, then this will work. But then you also have the challenge of drug interactions. And so those are the other things we face. So in addition to the fact that people won't disclose, when they do disclose, then of course you get wrong advice. And so what we always try to do is empower. We feel that once you empower the women and tell them, this is what you must do, this is how you should do it, then eventually there is lead to life. But there's hope, because we are very happy, we are very lucky. We thank the pharma companies, we thank the Mass Foundation, because in Nigeria, many of the patients are on we get access to the drugs through the Mass Foundation. And it's really very helpful for us, because we have a lot of women who have a new lease to life. Apart from me, I have several other cases who have had children consequently. So the message out there is it's no longer a death sentence. And like I also allude to what my fellow advocates in Arab said, we need to get to a point where TFR is also available to us. Because many people qualify for TFR. It's just that, because there's even much access to monitoring, it's a bit difficult, but that's where we're heading. And we trust that once we can overcome that barrier of TFR, then eventually we will get a cure. Because that is what we advocate for this season, that more than ever, we will live a life without TFR.
Thank you very much, Eunice. I can hear passion in your voice. Thank you for this. I know it's a big topic. We don't have enough time to discuss all things about, stigma, education of women in Africa, and also how people, they make pressure, to women about pregnancy, and the pregnancy with CML it should be managed and discussed with the doctor. Thank you for sharing with us your thoughts, and thank you for your participation. Last but not least, another topic, very interesting. As Jamal said, we are here to talk. I tried when I was preparing the agenda to touch to everything, to every topic in the region, and the caregiver are very big and interesting pieces of the puzzle. And Alion Bukhari, he is here with us, and thank you for him to join us. He is the president of Association de lutte contre les leucémies, as a CML patient group in Niger, and a very interesting topic, as I said, to all CML patients, the role of caregivers. Can you talk about the role of caregivers in CML care, dear Alion? The floor is yours. Can you turn your we can hear you. Can you, Denise? Can you maybe assist me? Yeah, about.
Alion, can you
animate? Yeah,
voilà.
it's okay. Voilà.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Hello, dear participant. Thank you very much, Mama Africa. Let me introduce myself. I'm just to try to speak English because I'm not speaking very well. Et je
No,
me débrouille un peu. Et
no,
j'espère que
no,
vous allez
Alion. Your
Oui.
English is perfect. Go ahead. If you don't
C'est vrai
find
que
a word, ask, and we will help you. Me or Dennis.
Aliun, you need to
Alion,
unmute yourself again, please.
yeah.
now it's
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
it's
perfect.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm the president of the Association for the Fight Against Leukemia in Niger. I'm very motivated to participate in this video conference on this day, September 22, dedicated to World Leukemia Day. So good every day. Good day, everyone. So good day, everyone. Living with a sick person, supporting them and accompanying them over a long period is very trying both physically and psychologically. The term clause refers to any person around the sick person who has a positive link with them, whatever the nature, friendship, affection, love, etc., or their degree of kinship. What is important is first their perception and understanding of events. Then it is possible to adapt. To adapt to the situation, it is essential to trust yourself and learn to listen to your intuition. Inform yourself in order to help the patient. Do research the better, understand the disease, its treatment, and especially their side effects. Always provide moral support to the patient. Moral support to the patient. Also, be sure to take medication. Provide all hope to the patient during the treatment, a favorable environment, a holy and cleaning environment. Relatives can also benefit from moral or psychological support. A doctor can prescribe medication if needed, antidepressant or others. A psychologist and can listen to them. People around them sometimes need a break. Sharing role is not always easy or possible. Anytime relatives can approach support group. In support groups, relatives can express their anxiety, discomfort, guilt, or angers, and share them with people who are going through the same things. They allow them to come out of their isolation and the universe of the disease of which they may feel trapped, and help them to, to reestablish the dialogue with the patient when he has been interrupted. All relative of sick people, spouse, companion, brother, sister, can participate. Discussion are most often done with the help of a psychologist. In the end, I wish a good leukemia day to all living leukemia patients and every special thought to those who are hospitalized. Thank you all. Thank you very much. This is the memo who I tell for us for this day or this leukemia day. Thank you very much.
Thank
Merci.
you very much, dear Alion, for your participation. I know that you make a lot of energy, a lot of effort to speak in English, and you
Yes.
are brave, and then you are a good example for other people speaking only French. Me, myself, I start speaking only French and Arabic, and you know, when you practice your language, you can become a good speaker, a good, advocate,
Thank you.
also also because internationally, globally, we talk only English. Thank you very much, dear
Very much.
Alioun. I
Thank
remember, we are talking about caregiver, and Jamal also talk about the feeling of caregivers. I remember I read a book, a French book about the others. The others means the other touched by cancer, because no one talk about the other, the caregiver and the relatives, and maybe we forget their suffering, and we underestimate their feelings also. Maybe
you.
we should, for example, make some activity for the caregivers also, because
Yes.
they need to talk, they need the psychological
Yes.
support,
Yes.
and we are here for hope. That's why we start by the energy and the good story of hope of Trevor, 31 years of CML,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he is
Yes.
still with us. As Jamal said, he is our president, he
Yes.
is our king. We can call you, I am Mama Africa, you are King Africa, and Your Majesty, you deserve all happiness and love, and I am very happy and to see you all. We have Lorita. If you allow me, I will give 1 minute to Lorita, because she is here and she is very, very good advocate, and we will give her to speak about something today together more than ever for a life without CML. Lorita, how can you say about this motto and your feeling in this day? The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. We had a recorded program earlier. I don't know if that is going to be viewed, but it is so wonderful to belong to this African association, because before it was when we were associated with the European uh, association, it was really difficult because they couldn't understand our African problems. We are not unique with our problems in Africa. We share them together. And we are so grateful to be able to be part of CML Africa. Thank you so much for this wonderful CML day today of today together. More than ever, we will
Yeah.
be able to get rid of this CML one day.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you, Loretta. Thank you to all our speakers and our guests, and all who joined us today. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experiences today together. More than ever for a life without CML. Our session is recorded, and you will find more information in our website. Please visit www.worldcmlday.org. You can post any question, and of course, our team will answer. Thanks again for joining us, and much love and happy World CML Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bahija. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everybody,
you
for
very much.
attending. I just want to tell you that, like the videos that Loretta mentioned that were pre-recorded by Lydia and our colleague Justin over the past couple of weeks, I will broadcast those in this Zoom room now. It's a short video. It's around 30 minutes, but if you don't have the time today to see it, you will also be able to see it in the future on our Facebook page. Don't also forget, that the next maybe big get together for us might be also virtual this year, but for CML Horizons. Save the date for CML Horizons, please. It will take place from November 6 until November 8, and it will be free for everybody to attend this year. You will have more details about the event in the coming days and weeks. So we look forward to your participation. Thank you again for your participation today. Thank you, Bahija, for moderating in such an expert and lovely and welcoming fashion. And
Thank
I
you.
wish you all a good day. So I will play the video now. If um,
for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, now more than ever, a life without CML. Taa, onye ọbụla, ọkacha mkpa ugbu ndụ enweghị CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Taa, onye ọbụla, ọkacha mkpa ugbu ndụ enweghị CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Kájùmọ̀ gbé ìgbélé aláyọ̀ láìdé CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Welcome to Voice of CML. Shortly, you will hear from some of our members at CML Advocates Network. A few years ago, we started with only a few countries, but since then we have grown. We have 126 patient organizations in over 93 countries around the world. Every year, on the 22nd of September, we come together to raise awareness for the CML community. Unfortunately, 2020 has presented us with many new challenges. However, we continue to adapt. In this six-part live stream, we hope to give all those around the world the opportunity to come together and share their stories using the digital space. Today, many CML patients do not have access to life-saving treatment. Many CML patients do not have access to doctors. Many CML patients do not have up-to-date credible information on the very disease they live with every day. Our hope is to share those stories while also teaching and raising awareness for chronic myeloid leukemia.
How has 2020 affected the CML community? How can we work together for a life without CML? What's next for the CML community? The CML community recently came together to ask some of these questions. The following presentation was completed via online interviews and self-tap submissions from the CML community. We would like to thank those patients, advocates, and physicians who contributed to Voices of CML. Shukran. Merci. Thank you. Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Okay, because of the pandemic, there was an imposed lockdown and travel restrictions imposed by the government to stem the spread of COVID-19. And so one of the main challenges were people couldn't travel to the GPAP center to go get their drugs, which is how we get drugs in Nigeria. And so what the center did in collaboration with the head of the center was to use logistic services, so courier services, to assist patients to get drugs, because as you know, the drugs are for life, and you can't you have to take them every day. And so we used courier services to send the drugs to patients in different parts of the country. And that was really well received by patients. It was so helpful. A lot of patients now have adapted to that situation. That's what we're using. So now many more patients also had to ensure that they came online, because we have like a WhatsApp group for everyone who is a caregiver or a patient, a CML patient. And so the use of the courier service, as well as everyone coming online to get information about how are the drugs going to get to me, what are the requirements, and then how do I get the drugs in there. So that's one of the main adaptations we've had, challenges and how we adapted.
Since the pandemic COVID-19 started in Madagascar, we have organized patients follow-ups. Each patient must do the NFIS analysis in or the near by laboratories and send the results by mail to the doctors. Then each patient must send one person to collect drugs in the hospitals.
Donc, le défi a été vraiment, ça a été vraiment contredit par l'apparition de la maladie, de la pandémie COVID-19, ce qui fait que nous nous sommes contentés par des sensibilisations et d'autre part par des distributions de masques et de gel alcoolique pour les patients et proches patients, et aussi les sensibiliser comment y faire face à cette maladie. First of all, believe in the existence of the disease and the strict application of the barrier measures ordered by the Ministry of Health. The permanent distribution of masks to patients, the celebration of Doctors' Days, the sharing of cake, and the distribution of masks and alcoholic gel to health workers. Thank you.
2020 has been very challenging because of the corona. In terms of we getting drugs, it is okay because we had an envisaged for drug purposes, Martinet from Mass Foundation, they've done very well. Anticipated that we were going to get drugs. So that one is perfect. For going to the hospital to report for reviews, it's been a bit challenging because the doctors themselves have been very, very busy and not to us. But health-wise, we are perfect. I'm very, very perfect.
Bonjour, c'est un réel plaisir pour moi de participer à ce projet virtuel du CML World Day 2020. Donc, notre défi pour l'année 2020 était essentiellement marqué sur des conférences et des sensibilisations pour pouvoir vraiment amener les patients non seulement à accepter leur maladie et à comprendre exactement ce que c'est la maladie et comment vivre avec cette maladie. Et notre défi majeur, c'est vraiment de pouvoir installer, c'est-à-dire une plateforme de concertation, pour que chacun puisse participer à sa manière dans la lutte contre les leucémies au Niger. This year has not been easy to carry out our activity in the fight against leukemia, given the health crisis facing all countries of the world linked to COVID-19. But nonetheless, we have focused on raising awareness among patients and their close relatives what do with the COVID.
أهم التحديات اللي واجهناها عام 2020 هي انقطاع العلاج عن المرضى منذ أكثر من سنة، وحاولنا جاهدين توفير العلاج من خلال شبكة CML Advocates بالاتصال مع شركة نوفارتس وبمساعدة السيدة بهيجة كويمي رئيسة جمعية أمل في المغرب، وحصلنا على العلاج من شركة نوفارتس أخيرا الحمد لله تم تأمين العلاج. والتحدي الثاني هو الكوفيد 19 مرض وباء الكورونا اللي يواجه المرضى، وحاولنا نساعد المرضى في الكثير من الأمور والتوجيهات في حماية أنفسهم من هذا الوباء.
Our 2020 challenges have not been unique to Zimbabwe only, but these problems are worldwide. COVID-19 pitched up and Zimbabwe was not spared. We found our group unable to meet. We had all our awareness programs, our fundraising programs, all put on hold. We also were unable to even meet with bereaved ones to help them with their problems. Sad times that we all are facing. The worst problem that we found is many of our members don't live in the city where the medication is available. So they have to travel some up to 500 kilometers to get to the city hospital to collect their medication, have their review. And because of lockdown, city-to-city travel was banned. So we really found ourselves with a major problem. We were so grateful for our WhatsApp group. Our WhatsApp group suddenly came alive, and now we were able to meet together on social media. We had our meetings on social media, and we were able to deal with the problems that were presented by our patients, and more importantly, the newly diagnosed patients that desperately needed information. The doctors were able to refer them to our WhatsApp group, and we were able to help them via social media. With the medication, what we did is we tried to reschedule all our patients' appointments to coincide, all the ones that needed to travel, and then we all pulled in to be able to access DHL. Charges in Zimbabwe are really high, so we were able to share those consignments and get our tablets a little bit closer so that the patients didn't have to travel 500 kilometers.
For 2021, what we would like is to create more consciousness of the need to be informed about what's the future for a lot of us that have CML. Let me explain that. Now, because of our peculiar situation, we don't have very good health insurance for CML patients. So we get our drugs where our drugs are donated to us. And so because of that, you have sometimes people just taking that for granted and not consciously being aware that these drugs, that's not all, a few. These drugs are very expensive, and so the need to ensure that you take proper care of your health, use the drugs as prescribed, and also ensure that what are the things you need to do more consciously. For example, we've had people who sometimes some carelessness, just don't use the drugs well and then end up having complications. Then we have those that do use the drugs well, and then sometimes it doesn't just work. So, but we've had lots of help from the Max Foundation, who has assisted us to get the different. So we have, because the drugs come in different, we have different levels. So sometimes when people don't do well on this drug, then they are moved to the next level of drugs to use and all. What they've done to help us a lot is to ensure that we have a different level. So if you don't work with, if just drug doesn't work with you, then you get the next one and all. I want to see that we have more access to drugs. That's one of my greatest challenges. More knowledge for patients so that they take care of their health more, and then more access to drugs. That's really a goal for us. I'm hoping that before the end of this pandemic, or when this pandemic gradually winds down and comes to an end, then we can sort that out. Because in addition to getting the drugs into the country, of course, we have our own peculiar internal structural challenges. And so that for me is that, because if you have access to drugs, of course you'll be well. And then we can actually achieve our global goal, which is for a life without CML. The better you are, the stronger you are, the healthier we are, the better community we are. I think that's for me, that's what we want.
For 2021, our goal for the new patients is that to have access to all of the free treatments. And also, all patients can follow the PCR at the low cost, thanks to the biological laboratory, which begin to be operational in the hospital.
أهم الأهداف الموضوعة لعام 2021 هو تأمين العلاج الكامل ولمدد بعيدة لكافة مرضى CML في العراق. هذا الهدف الأول. والهدف الثاني هو زيادة الوعي الثقافي والطبي لدى جميع المرضى لنصل إلى أبعد مستويات الثقافة التوعوية والتوجيهية لكافة مرضى CML في العراق.
Our goals for 2021 are, because inflation has hit Zimbabwe really hard, we can see that our patients are really struggling to put together funds for even the local blood tests. The ones that were being done every 6 weeks, their budgets have now enabled them to only do it every 3 months. And then our more important PCR testing was now unaffordable. So 2021, we have decided that we're going to try to concentrate more on getting PCR testing available in Zimbabwe. We want to catch up to our European counterparts. So maybe if we work together as CML Africa, we could bring the much needed testing into Africa so that maybe we could reach a stage where we could have trials, African trials, which I don't think have ever happened, and we could qualify. Once our testing is in order, we could qualify for these trials, which will lead us into treatment-free remission. And I think that could be the goal that all African countries would want to reach. Right now, it's not available, and we're going to be on medication for the rest of our lives. But thank goodness Novartis made such a wonderful product, and it's kept us going for many years. But the ideal goal should be treatment-free remission for Africa.
Pour 2021, nous souhaitons vraiment une meilleure santé à tous et que nous pouvons vraiment mener nos activités en pleine année. Comme cette année, nous n'avons pas pu mener nos activités liées à la pandémie. Et nous souhaitons vraiment que l'année 2021 soit une année meilleure, une année de pleine lutte contre la leucémie, une année qui nous permettra de mettre en œuvre toutes nos activités pour pouvoir vraiment atteindre nos objectifs. Et notre objectif principal, c'est vraiment de pouvoir installer un laboratoire génétique au Niger qui va permettre de bien suivre les patients, les diagnostiquer, de bien suivre les patients et aussi s'accentuer sur le dépistage afin de prévenir la maladie dans notre pays, surtout au Niger. Okay, for the year 2021, our challenge is to be able to organize ourselves to set up a genetic laboratory, allowing us to do our examination and follow up on it. And we wish the end of the pandemic in order to carry out our full year's activities.
One of our goals for 2021 is to try and get our medication distributed to most of the regional hospitals countrywide. Maybe not all, but at least if we could introduce one more hospital so that medication is easily accessible and we don't put a strain on our patients to travel so far. We console ourselves by saying it's a small price for us to pay for the benefit that we're getting from the free clinic. But at the end of the day, if we can alleviate the problems for our patients, it would be really great.
Well, globally, I know that we've made tremendous advances. So, in more advanced communities and economies, we are talking about TFR, where people are able to go on off treatments for a while, monitored, and they're doing well. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. So, I'm hoping that there will be some focus on low-income countries that need assistance to be able to consider trials for TFR, because a lot of us in Africa and other countries do qualify for TFR, but because of our peculiar challenges, it's something that we might not be able to do. So I'm hoping that the global community can kind of look at low-income countries and consider that. But eventually, I do hope we can get to where a cure can be found, because 10 years ago, TFR was never something people considered, or even 15 years ago. But look at it now. So I'm hoping that indeed we'll do get a cure. I'm hoping that we can.
We need a little bit of training on the fundraising side, and this would be a great advantage because Africa have similar problems to each other, whereas Europe is a completely different kettle of fish. So we could learn from our African leaders on their CML groups on how they've done fundraising programs, and then we could implement that. If we have the initial cash just to get us started, because then we could take it from there and grow. We know that it's not just a handout all the time, but just a starting, something to start us off would be great. Test kits, if that could be donated, that would also be great.
Our common goal is to live like normal people and not to be treated like people who has disease.
Donc, pour cette question, par rapport à l'ensemble de tout le monde, à l'endroit de tout le monde du moins, pour vivre sans la leucémie, je pense qu'il faut toujours renforcer nos capacités, rester ensemble et joindre nos efforts pour pouvoir faire face à cette maladie, pour s'échanger des informations, se donner des expériences vécues et faire des sensibilisations de masse, du dépistage à temps afin de prévenir la maladie à tous les niveaux et un suivi régulier pour pouvoir atteindre et la PCR 0,001 qui est la rémission complète. Et je pense que c'est un défi que nous tous, on peut toutefois atteindre et que, Inch'Allah, Dieu nous aidera pour pouvoir vivre sans cette maladie. Et ce serait mon souhait. Share our experience with the disease, strengthen our capacity, and especially have a regular follow-up in order to reach the PCR 0.01, which is the complete remission.
العمل من أجل دعم قوي و يعني يشجع المرضى السيام على تجاوز الصعاب في مرضهم هو مساعدة الجمعيات كلها في عمل خدمة ممتازة، تقديم خدمة ممتازة مثل ما حصل من أجل توفير علاج التسقنة لمرضى CML في العراق في هذه السنة، حيث قامت مجموعة منظمات من ضمنها جمعية أمل في المغرب من خلال السيدة بهيجة كويمي، وCML فلسطين من قبل الأخ جمال حوراني، ومساعدة CML Advocates. هذا الجمع كله قدرنا نضغط على شركة نوفارتس من أجل توفير علاج التسقنة للعراق. إذا العمل الجماعي يخلق أهداف مساعدة للمريض من أجل توفير علاجه وطمأنينة المريض من هذا الناحية.
Oh, so some of the goals can be achieved if we have access to testing. You know, the main issue with CML as a disease is not only to take the drugs, you also have to test so that you kind of monitor and be sure that the drugs are working. And that's what we don't really have. We don't have a lot of access to testing. And so people have to travel within the continent, certain countries, to get access to traveling. And in the pandemic, that's been almost very difficult because it's just now, like in where I am now, we just opened our borders, international borders, over the weekend. So that's mainly the challenge. So in that time, people haven't been able to test because of the pandemic. But if we had those testing facilities within, because we opened our internal borders much earlier, people would have been able to travel to the different cities where the testings are available and do them. But now there is no access to testing because we can't travel across borders, international borders, only just recently. So that's one, access to testing. And then more access to drugs. But for the foundation, Max Foundation, that I've told many, me inclusive, we don't have access to drugs because, as we all know, cancer drugs are very expensive. They are close to unaffordable on a regular basis. And so those are the things, access to drugs and testing. That really is the challenge. Those are the things that we really need most. I just want to say a big thank you to the CML community globally, because people have worked tirelessly, and that is the reason why we have a day to celebrate CML. But for the persistence in the global community, we won't be where we are. So I think we're thankful. We're very thankful for the forum we have now, where a lot of people are becoming aware. And so that really for me is that we're thankful. We are glad that the awareness, CML awareness, has made tremendous advances in the treatment of CML. I think that is what has really helped the communities to grow and more people to become healthier because of their tireless work in ensuring that CML is known by people, and then our needs and what we require is taken seriously. That's what I'm really glad about.
I'm talking to our patients here, but when we start the webinar, everything will be in English. So nothing to worry about.
Hello, Professor Anani. You are muted.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Everything okay, Gion?
הכל perfect.
אני שמה על English, נכון? ב-translate.
Yes, we go to English.
בסדר. אז אני לא צריכה לקחת פיקוד?
לא, אני מקווה שלא, נראה. עם המסך שלי לא יעשה לי בעיה.
אתה רואה אותי או שאני צריכה?
רואה, אני רואה אותי.
טוב, מרגש.
רגע.
היי סיגי.
היא לא שומעת כי אני עם אוזניות. אני יודע, כי אני מדבר עם אשתי, אז אני לא רוצה שכולם ישמעו.
בסדר גמור.
יורא, אתה יודע שאני ב7:30 צריכה לרדת מהשידור.
אין בעיה, מתי שאת צריכה?
מתי שאת צריכה? אני לא... אולי בהתחלה אתה תגיד אני תעזוב אותנו ותחלת וובינר אחר או משהו כזה.
בסדר, כשאני אציג אותך, אני...
בדיוק, פשוט אני לא עולה לי